I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha-Rakah Kodash, double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, may you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abababal. This is Matthew 5, and I'll start at 43. It's red letter because Yahweh Shai is speaking. It says, ye have heard that it had been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor, talking about your fellow Israelite, and hate thine enemy, which you had enemies amongst the Israelite. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the sons of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? But ye therefore perfect, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Understanding that you have to endure both these things. It says in Romans 12, it's Hebrews 12. In verse 1 it says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience, which this race is a race of patience, the race that is set before us, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Which it gives you Proverbs 13 and Proverbs 3 and 11. It says, my son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh, neither be weary of his correction. Verse 12, for whom Yahweh loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son, in whom he delighteth. It says, verse 4, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. All right. It says, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. And that chastisement, it goes into what? Feeling rejected. All right. See, it says chastisement is the act of criticizing or punishing someone for wrongdoing, often in a harsh or severe manner. It can involve verbal reprimands, scolding, or even physical punishment. You see? So this is what we have to suffer to prove that we are with the Lord. All right? And so we have to endure as a good soldier, as it says, endure as a good soldier. Titus, 2 Timothy, 2 Timothy 2, and I'll start on 1. Chapter 2, verse 1. Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace and the instruction that is in Yahushua HaMashiach, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses. The same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully. The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits, just like the chastisement. Consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things. Remember that Yahushua HaMashiach, of the seed of David, was raised from the dead according to my gospel, wherein I suffered trouble as an evildoer, even unto bonds, being put in jail, put in slavery. But the word of Yahweh is not bound. Therefore, because why? Because Yahushua was raised, he overcame this world. It says, therefore, I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahushua with eternal glory. So we endure all things, including chastisement, for the elect's sake. You see? Now I wanted to go to this here. It says hardness. I wanted to look into this word, the hardness, where it says endure hardness, which endure means to harden without breaking. So I wanted to see what it meant here. Let's go back. So it's
Strong's G 2553. Kakapateo.
kakapoteo. It says to suffer, endure, and endure means to suffer without breaking. Evils, hardships, troubles, to be afflicted. So that's the hardness. The root word?
Strong's G 2552. Kakapathia. Kakapathia.
Kakarpathia, the suffering of evil, in other words, trouble, distress, afflicted.
Strong's G 3806. Pathos.
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 It says, whatever befalls one, whether it be sad or joyous, specifically a calamity, mishap, evil, affliction, right? So you get the idea. Let me check out this last root word.
Strong's G 2556. Kakas.
Kakas, of a bad nature, not such as it ought to be, right? Which it says, all right, it says in 1 Peter 4, verse 12, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. That's how the world thinks of it. Why did this happen to me? Why me? Right? But we're supposed to have understanding, and it shouldn't be strange to us that these things happen to us. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad, also with exceeding joy, which he saves us from our troubles. That's his glory. If ye be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of Yahweh's, it says, and of Yahweh resteth upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified, because you're going to say he saved you out of your trouble. But let none of you suffer as a murderer. Now, if you murder someone and you fall into, go to prison, whatever, That's your problem. That's not the Lord's problem. Because he said, thou shalt not murder. Or as a thief, thou shalt not steal. But you go out and steal and you get in trouble, you're not suffering for the Lord. That's for your own wickedness. Or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yet, if any man suffer as a Christian, or it should be as an Israelite, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai on this behalf. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, and if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, meaning there's only a small number, and we're saved at the last minute, so we got to endure troubles, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? They're going to be destroyed because they're going to go down to Egypt for help. They're going to ask the so-called white man for help, and he's going to deceive them into taking an implantable microchip, and they're going to be destroyed with this devil, the so-called white man, and his angels, the military. It says in Matthew 25, verse 40, and it says in 41, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, the reprobate of the Israelites in America, depart from me, ye cursed. And they're cursed because they didn't believe. They didn't endure. Into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels, which you're going to be destroyed in the nuclear destruction of the so-called white man's kingdom, or you're going to be gathered into his military and be destroyed in the valley of Jehoshaphat by fire. All right? So the Lord's going to destroy the unfaithful Israelite in their unfaithfulness. It says in 2nd Ezra 15, and I believe it's 4. For all the unfaithful Israelites shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right? So, understand that. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So it says in, I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon 3. No. That's Sirach 2. Verse 1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure without breaking, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end, be saved. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Why? How could you take it cheerfully? Understanding that the Lord's going to save you out of your troubles. That's his name, Yahushai. Yahweh's son, Yahushai, his name means he delivers. Yahushai, deliverer. He delivers us from our trouble when we call to the Father, Yahweh, which his name, Yahweh, means he is, he exists. And he has given us our Savior, Yahushai, his Son, his only begotten Son, which we're adopted in to the kingdom through his Son's sacrifice, which he was crucified, died for 3 days, dead for 3 days, and resurrected by the power of Yahweh. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Your adversary is even your own people, but these other nations. It says, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. So be still, and know that he is our power. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? And whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy and long suffering for the Israelite, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways, for a double-minded man shall receive nothing of the Lord. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, will not disobey his word, will not disobey his word. And they that love him will keep his ways. They will keep his commandments, meaning going over them day and night, right? Because the only way to know Yahweh is through his judgments. And he's sending his son Yahushua to judge the world. That's Revelation 19 and 11. 19 and 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, a chariot, a so-called UFO, so you could understand. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, because he fulfills the word of Yahweh, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. See? So he's going to judge this wicked world. And who's going to send him? Yahweh is going to send Yahushua back to judge the wicked and them that do wickedly. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, wa abba babal.